Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, 100 Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire, tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
How does it feel to say that again?
Oh, it feels great. All good.
So, y'all, I guess for those who watching that don't know why I asked that, we back, y'all. We
Yay!
are we back like we never left. This is our first live, so there'll be some announcements coming, not on this show. So you're gonna have to watch again to get the announcements that we're gonna make about future shows. So
Absolutely.
we
Absolutely.
we starting off with cliffhangers.
Right.
Um,
But just, getting in the groove, getting to
yeah,
know what's going on with you, what's going on with me, what's going on with everybody, catching up. Like, that's important.
yeah,
And one thing we can say emphatically is that you need to, before you do anything else, if you're watching us on YouTube, is subscribe and click the bell because we are not going to broadcast to every single platform anymore. We are exclusively, in terms of our video, going to be on YouTube. You will be able to still hear us on your favorite podcast platform. So if you don't want to miss when we're on, go ahead and subscribe and click the bell.
yes. So we
That
were
is
saying that a
vital.
few times through the broadcast. Because quite frankly, we need y'all, and we hope that y'all miss us enough to want to know when we're gonna be on. And the only way to know that is to click the bell and subscribe, and then just watch all the episodes. So what we're also doing, if you need to play catch up, if you need to play catch up, we are dripping the old episodes. I think we have what, 5 up right now.
6 episodes, but we have a couple of two-parters.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
it's quite a
go
few.
check some of the old episodes out. We have X's and O's. We have Race to the Worst, whatever you like, the Gas Chamber. Um, yeah, we got some good stuff up there. I didn't want to say stuff. And y'all, this season 2, Bars is gonna be watching his mouth.
Oh, who
the
wants to take bets?
I
Send
ain't saying I will
money
be perfect, but for the brand, for the expansion of the
for the
brand,
brand. For the brand.
you
Yeah.
know. Maybe when we do the exclusive content, the paid content,
Hmm.
which is coming, spoiler alert, that's when you'll get, bars.
That's good, right? The raw, uncut. Yeah,
Yeah,
we gonna need those
yeah,
subscriptions. I like that.
exactly. So if
I
you want to
like
hear
that.
if you hear want to hear what I really think.
Hey, MB. And the girls, Uncle Bars is washing his mouth, so they should be able to watch this part at least.
Well, about that. So
just just the opening.
well, no. So I have to break my own promise for the opening, and here's why.
Uh oh.
Um, MB's middle child, my goddaughter, has
Hmm.
hit a milestone today.
Oh
She
boy.
has said her first cuss word that we know about.
Okay. Well, welcome to the club.
So, congrats to Ryan Marie Butler for dropping her first F bomb.
Well, and I guess we don't have to call her MB since she said her child's full
Right,
fledged name on the
right. Hey,
show. We was trying
that's
to protect everybody's identities, but hey, y'all
well,
here.
no, that's I shout out my god baby. She likes to hear her name on the air anyway.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
So
Well, yes,
now,
congratulations,
in
Ryan.
context, she's not walking around randomly dropping F bombs. She actually asked for permission, or no, she asked how old she has to be to start cussing. And so,
That must mean something's on her nerves. She needs
oh
she
no,
needs
no,
more words.
it was so MD was like, okay, just for for the sake of it, if I were to give you permission to free pass, what was it that you were gonna say? She was like, what the F do y'all want from me? So then she asked, so then hold up. So then she asked, well, who are you gonna say it to? And she had a list
Ooh,
inclusive of her older sister.
that's
So
my girl.
uh,
Well,
Hey.
Shout out, Sister Ryan, because
Yeah.
you know what, I really wanted to ask that for the past few days, and
Hmm.
Maisha understands why. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for being on. Janae, we see you too. Welcome back.
Hey. Hey.
Thank you for rocking with us. We're so glad to see you guys, and the numbers are still climbing. Please feel free to share this link to those that you think would love the content that we have to bring. And we're gonna keep talking about relationships. You'll hear some of that today, but we're
Mhm.
also gonna be talking about some other things. We really, just as friends, have been talking about some of the situations that we go through individually, and then of course as a collective, like just growing up, and we're still growing up, right? Like going
Man.
through things in our lives. We've hit some different milestones since we last were recording, and so just talking about life stuff, that
Right.
is that's important.
Yeah. And just for transparency, y'all, for those are the Crossroads faithful, and some of you might be new to the show. Um, why the long break? Couple of reasons. So one, this long of a we didn't intend to take as long of a break as we did, but life did start happening. And I know during our first run, we talked a lot about the consistency and the fall off and everything else, but we broadcast in a way that most shows don't, right? We didn't take season breaks. So most seasons you'll get a few months and then off and then back again. We gave y'all a full year, like straight, no breaks, just week after week. We didn't miss not one week, not one live for a straight year. And so the amount of content that we have up is what a normal show would do, you know, um, in more than the time that we did it in. So we did take a break to prepare for season two, and then we had to take care of other business and life started happening and life events and stuff like that. And last you saw us, Dre was a newlywed, and now she's a
I'm
year in the
still
game. I
I was
mean,
like, I want nobody to think something happened. I'm
I meant
we still
a brand newlywed.
we
She
still
was a
together.
couple of months in,
Yes, yes, I'm
so
a
they've
year and a couple of months
yeah,
now at
she's
this
since
point.
celebrated an anniversary, so
Yay.
there'll be when we do our relationship shows, there's some insight from not she went from a dating fiance perspective to brand new married to
We in this thing.
we in this thing.
We in this thing.
So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
as for myself, I've just had been buried in the ground, work. Some professional changes have occurred. As many of you know, in my spare time, I'm a school administrator, and so the school that I was at ended up closing, and I'm now at still with the same district, but at a new campus. So that's been a change and adjustment in my life, and to kind of share some context of. I know some of you, the old episodes were off of YouTube, and so we can share why that happened. Um,
He wants to tell
so
y'all everything because I don't.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
you know.
let's just move to the next thing. He wants to give you
Okay,
guys
well, no, we ain't
all
got to.
the
Maybe it'll come up later. So y'all gonna have to tune in, and we'll tell
you
y'all why.
like
That's
it is
hold up.
all
This is Dre's sweet way of saying, shut up.
it's like they don't really care about that. I mean, maybe you guys do, but I don't
I
think you do.
mean,
Y'all good.
you
Y'all
know,
good. We're just glad you're here. Those of you who are here, you know what happens in life, but we're back. We're rolling. We're going to be doing a couple of lives while we prepare for the season two drop. And from there,
and if there are any topics, n- relationship or non-relationship, that you would want us to cover, let us know. So, you know, there it is. All right. So, per usual, this show cannot happen without certain courtesies from our faithful sponsors. So, back like we never left, the Crossroads is brought to you by the House of 334.
it's the house.
Oh,
Look, if I didn't have to work the buttons and do a hand sign, I could be on time.
I
Y'all,
could.
Varzini we working on clean mouths, but y'all go. I'm gonna be the first one to slip if you don't ease up off my neck. Just okay. I'm doing the best I can. There was no
Oh,
delay for me, but maybe there's a delay on your
I don't.
side. It's because I'm trying to do two
I
things
get it.
at
I'm
one
just
time.
saying this. You know, what I'm saying it usually come a little fast.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm
So
trying to
yo,
wait till you say what you have to say, click the button,
and
and throw
then
the look now. If I had three hands, where's Ryan? Where's Ryan when I need him?
what the,
This was the
what
time to
the
insert that phrase right there.
Oh damn. Okay, okay, I got you. So y'all, for all your business branding and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is black owned, it is woman owned, and it is amazing. The Crossroads is also brought to you by the Crossroads. Y'all, you can hit our bit.ly, that's bit.ly/, the Crossroads, to get all of our links and everything else to find out everything that's going on. But most importantly, go to YouTube. We are going exclusively live on YouTube. We'll post the links elsewhere for you to be able to click to YouTube, but make sure you go to YouTube. And when you get there, be certain that you subscribe. That's the most important thing. So you'll be alerted when we're going live, when new episodes come out. And it helps us out, quite frankly. You know, we are on a mission to get to hit some benchmarks and everything else on YouTube so that we can grow the brand, grow the show, and bring you more amazing content. So Crossroads is full force, y'all. This is what we're doing. So, what are we talking about on today? We got
On today, it's a lot of things. Actually, before we get into topics, 'cause I was sitting here and I was like, it is the centennial year of Sigma
oh,
Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and we must not gloss past that. So, we were not
we
recording in November, but it's still centennial year. So, shout out to all of the members of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, our affiliates, families. Thank you so much for a phenomenal kickoff to celebrations. We've been celebrating really all of 2022, but don't be surprised because it will continue. So when you see your favorite Sigma Gamma Rho, remember to wish her happy centennial.
and happy centennial on behalf of the gentlemen of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated
Thank you. Yes, come on. Pretty Poodles in the building.
and all of that. Listen, y'all been
Kiana.
going since July.
It's actually been since January. So January 1st on the Tournament of Roses parade. We were
Oh,
there.
oh, oh.
we kicked that
Let
thing off. But
let me shut up.
that's
But
okay.
and then y'all was
But
just in
our big
y'all
collective
representing the
celebration. Our big
mhm,
collective celebration started in July. Each
mhm,
region had a celebration. So Western region kicked ours off in January. We had another one in April. And then I
mhm,
believe it was the Northeastern region somewhere around May. We had Southeastern region somewhere around June. Then we had Boulay. So that was
mhm.
everybody in July. And then we had our Founders Day weekend celebration in Indianapolis, and then satellite celebrations everywhere. And then Southwestern region wrapped us on up just a couple weeks ago in New Orleans. So it's been
That
popping.
just yeah, that just sounds expensive. That's a lot of
Well, if you went to everything, you might be a Sigma Gamma
and
Rho
some of
baller.
y'all yeah, some of y'all did. I want to give a special shout out to uh they the Epsilon chapter because y'all is the workingest chapter that I didn't ever seen, you know, in y'all respective alumni chapters and everything else. I swear to God, everybody from that chapter holds some sort of office like all
I
over the country.
mean, when you made right, it's just, it's what it is. So, yes, thank you. I didn't solicit
Yeah.
that. I didn't say anything about that,
No,
but
I'm
shout
just
out
no,
to the
I've
home
yeah, I've
team.
said it before.
It's the home team,
Because every
Theta
time I
Epsilon
talk to
chapter.
Maisha, something like that, it's like they're like, "Oh, I'm just so tired of doing it," and I never know if it's for regular work or if it's for Sigma because it's like it's all the
It's
same,
together. Yeah.
right?
Right on. So yes,
Listen,
all of the sorors that entered the sorority through Theta Epsilon chapter at USC just got a shout out. And we are everywhere at this point. we're in different regions, different chapters, working on different levels of the sorority. But it's an honor to do
Yeah.
that. But I'm ready
Well,
for my holiday nap.
yeah. Shoot. I mean, while I love Kappa, Kappa done got off. They gonna get at me for a while.
I
Y'all can have some
understand.
money, like, huh?
I
But I didn't did
understand.
I didn't did
Hey,
more
Special.
work a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we've done, we paid the bills, we got our shout outs, Centennial for the Sorors, caught up with where we've been. What are we talking about today? So there's just a couple of things been going on in the news. The first thing, I was actually glad to see this. Keke Palmer is pregnant, and she announced it on Saturday Night Live. So I don't watch SNL regularly. I really
Hmm.
only watch when something like this happens, or if it's like,
Hmm.
hey, so and so is going to be on SNL, I'll go ahead and do that. But I don't know if you remember because you're not a Twitter head like me, but I don't know if it was this April Fool's Day or last April Fool's Day. I want to say it was last April Fool's Day because this one would be too close. But she posted either a pregnancy test or like an ultrasound or something like that. And like people don't
Hmm.
play with that on April Fool's. They like
Right.
don't play with pregnancy because there are people who can't have babies and this, that, and the third. So they let her have it, right? So I was laying on the couch and hashtag we was like, oh, is Keke Palmer pregnant? I was like, probably not,
Right.
because I remember that I was like, I hope she's not playing that game again. And then he showed me the clip, and I was like, oh no, there's no room to ask if she's pregnant. That's like that baby might as well have said hello to us on the camera, like she.
Right. Right. I was like, what? And it was different. It was a much different experience when you watch it on mute first, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I was like, why she getting naked? And then I was like, oh,
Yeah, she
yeah.
had her little coat on, her boobs was sitting up there. She had her stuff together, and then she
Mhm.
was like, "Pow!"
Yeah,
And then it
she
was
out there
just,
doing the nasty. It's weird seeing child stars like as adults doing adult things because you don't associate them with adult things.
I think that's what she definitely spoke to that.
Hmm.
Probably because I've been following her for so long. I didn't realize she was as young as she was. Actually, I thought she was already in her 30s, but she's 29, so she's
Hmm.
just on the cusp. But yeah, I'm like, sis is constantly working
Hmm.
and diversifying. Like she's not just doing one thing. Not that you have to qualify any of that to have a baby, but I'm like,
Well, she
hey,
definitely
you're not asking
diversifying
me to take
now.
care of it. Yeah,
Right.
not
She de-
she's
On a
diversifying.
side note about Kiki, have you ever seen her do her impression of Angie Bassett?
I just saw. Well, I have seen it, but for whatever reason, it was in my timeline recently because she did an interview with Angela Bassett,
I
so
saw
she had
that
to do
too.
it in front. Yeah, but I've
Yeah,
seen her do it
yeah,
before.
it wasn't as good in front of Angie when she did it before.
Not calling her Angie like she your homegirl, like
No, I'm calling her Angie like she my wife. I love that woman. Be like,
she's somebody else's wife.
can I have my fantasies,
Oh,
please? Right. In my head, she fixes me plates and I rub her feet. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
You see how she don't like? I feel like Dre don't want me to be happy sometimes. Like she's somebody else's wife. Dream shot just shattered.
My bad. We
You
in
know.
fantasy land. Yes. Go ahead.
If I ever met Courtney, I give him a really hard handshake and look him dead in the eyes like, don't mess up, bro.
That's
You know,
hilarious.
hey, shooters shoot. So I'm just saying, when we blow up and we look back on this, Angie, I said it.
Mm,
All right,
I love
like
it.
I mean, I want y'all marriage to last,
I hope
but
she's the type that likes being called Angie.
I
My
know
mom's name is
her.
Angela, and
She hates Angie,
she's like me. Well, I guess I'm like her, right?
but we
Like if
call
you
her.
don't know us, do not short
We
me. Do
say Angie
not.
Bassett all the time. People say
I
Angie
have
Bassett all the
never.
time.
You're the first person literally I've ever heard say Angie Bassett. I
Oh,
have never heard that. That doesn't
you
mean
ain't been
it's not
paying
done,
attention. No, it's
but
definitely done.
but I have not heard anybody ever call her
Fine.
Angie
It's
Bassett.
I
But
won't call her Angie. I'll just call her Bay.
no, this is. I'm like, you do what
Hey,
you want.
Let me
I'm
shut up
just
before I
saying,
be like,
if you do meet her and you call her that and she's upset, then
yeah,
it
yeah.
happens.
I mean, I'll apologize. I won't be like, what Bow Wow and I can't think of her name, the wrestling lady, and I guess he was like tweeting or something talking about he want to take her out and all this other stuff, and she posted talking about you can't afford me.
Ah,
I was like, and then double down. It was on the Breakfast Club. But notice how it is. Like people used to love Bow Wow when he was a kid, when he was a little cute kid. Now everybody think he's
I still love Bow Wow. Now I don't know Shad. I don't know him, but Bow Wow as a performer,
yeah,
it's still
no,
up for me. I don't
yeah,
have any
no.
problem with him when he gets on the stage. You can tell that he came up during the time that he did,
Mhm.
and I don't want any new music from him. I'm very clear about that. Stop where you are, sir. But
The oldies but goodies
you
tour.
can run me through all the old stuff. I'll be right there
Yeah,
with you.
but I just it's his antics. That whole thing with the plane, with the stock
Oh
footage,
yeah,
and then
yeah. I just think it's probably weird, and probably all well, a lot of child stars or people that came into notoriety as young people and then having to grow up in the limelight, and not just regular limelight. Now you have the internet and Twitter and all of
Mhm.
that. They probably just don't know how to be regular. Like,
Well,
I have to
yeah,
put on, I have to
right. And
lights, camera, action.
but the world has moved on from you if you haven't like grown with the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't seen too many be able to grow with the industry as a child. Like who was a child star that kind of kept up?
Well, I think Keke Palmer is a wonderful example of that.
Well,
Like,
I mean, yeah, acting is a little bit easier than music, you
oh,
know.
music.
But
Well,
yeah,
no, nobody but Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. Stevie
yeah.
Wonder has continued to roll. Just
Listen, we
he
didn't watch
rolling
Stevie
past people
braids.
that was right.
Look,
He's rolling past people who were out before he came out.
I wonder if Stevie's braids is like his life hourglass and the close. It's like that's like his life
You
force.
just
No,
you just keep on. You just. Now, those of you who know me, you already know he is tap dancing on a spot for me. Stevie Wonder is my
man,
favorite artist. Period. Don't be trying to.
Stevie don't want to see me.
Well, he's on a roll tonight, ladies and
Listen,
gents. He's on a
no,
roll.
okay. Look, I'm not. I'm honestly physically, I'm not feeling good tonight. I'm completely tired and I'm drinking.
Mm,
So we already know. At least it's not a Red Bull because you know how shows be when I'm on a Red Bull.
I know, I know. Well, let's wish Keke Palmer and her partner the very best. I didn't even know she was dating anybody, but apparently, the folks
Is
knew.
she?
They posted a picture. Well, they posted a picture of the guy, so I hope it's his baby, and I hope they
No,
didn't
I'm just
just put
saying
some random man.
dating ain't necessarily a requisite. Requisite, it's.
Oh,
I don't
well,
know
they
if she's
made it seem
dating.
like they were a couple, so
Okay,
I
yeah.
didn't catch his name, but
Well, good. Well,
tomorrow on the
congratulations, and
Shade Room clip. Okay. Oh, it's. I mean, shout out to making the Shade Room, I guess, but also, oh God,
oh,
oh,
hey, that's all
love
right.
it,
We
love it.
go viral one way or the other.
Yes.
So speaking of couples,
Mm,
what's your boy TJ? Is it TJ Holmes?
TJ Holmes,
Yeah, I heard he's got a couple of.
TJ Holmes, and Amy Robach or Roback. I don't watch Good Morning America because that comes on too early for
Listen,
me.
he's smashing his coworker. Let's just call it what it is.
Smashing his. Oh, she isn't keeping him private. Okay, well then he's out there. She gave him to us then. If nobody
All
had to
right, then,
slip
Kiki.
and find him.
Because
I
they
love
say
it.
if you don't post it, it ain't real. All right, bet.
But also just live your life. I'm happy for her. I'm
Yeah,
happy
no,
for her.
me too. But
But
there's
yeah,
some
so
people who are not happy with TJ.
they're not
Yeah,
happy with
so
TJ.
apparently, TJ is a very married man, and his co-host is a very married woman, and
Hmm.
they were having some extramarital
Relations.
relations. So I mean, we ain't one to gossip. We just talking about the gossip that's already out there. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
but
so, what
fun.
do you think? What do you think? Because I put this in our group and I'm looking
Uh
through the comments. So,
huh.
is separation enough? So, for those of you who don't know the story or you're like, who are these people? Um, Co host on Good Morning America, and you know what Good Morning America, the platform that is Good Morning America, that's a huge deal
Mm-hmm.
in America. But they are uh, allegedly having a relationship and are also both married but separated. So the
Mm-hmm.
story is they got separated somewhere in the summer or somewhere this year and started dating over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was asking, is separation enough? And we're
Mm-hmm.
asking you right now, if you can chat with us, let us know. Is separation enough to start dating again, or is divorce a prerequisite? Like if you are meeting somebody and they are separated, is that okay for you
Mm-hmm.
to move forward, or do you need a divorce decree? Conversely, because sometimes people don't think about the other side,
Mm-hmm.
like if you are the divorcee, would you prefer, or do you see yourself in a position to date again before the ink is dry, or are we waiting?
I mean, separation is legal. You know, you can be legally separated, but so I think the line comes when with normal people, and they don't have normal jobs, right? They're normal people. They don't have normal jobs. So
Mm-hmm.
when your when your personal life is tied to a brand, I think the rules kind of change. You know, um, it shouldn't. It's not fair, but that's what it is, and we see it constantly. Kanye, Kyrie, all of these people who make personal decisions, or say things and expressing their right to say things, but they have professional ramifications, which also are personal ramifications, right? And this is not about
Mm-hmm.
whether, as a show, we agree with Kanye, Kyrie, or TJ or whatever, but this is just like the reality of things. When you are tied to a brand, your personal life and your personal decisions affect the brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the public uh, associates, like when you're a public figure, your public figure is who you are to the public,
Right.
right? They don't know you as, who you are, like off camera, right? Just like on this show, those who only know Dre and I on the show, all you know is Barzini and Dre Renee, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know Jason and Andrea. So um those things, they matter, right? Because it's going to affect viewership. Like personal views affect viewership, and affects sponsors, it affects like all this stuff. So they've since been pulled from the show, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so my personal belief, like if you're separated, do what you do. I don't separation for me is enough to date. Separation is not enough to, like, go forward and all this other stuff, right? Like
So what is go forward?
if you're talking about trying to marry somebody else, I mean, of course, legally you got to get,
Right. I was like, you
divorced.
can't.
But
Uh-huh.
but what I mean, I don't even think that we should be,
Just
like,
go out and entertain people
right,
is
go have
okay.
fun. But like, I would even say getting serious with somebody, getting in a serious relationship with somebody, I think you need to go ahead and sever that divorce. Because what happens, how many times have we seen somebody, go back to their spouse, right?
That's the thing.
Hey, we gonna work it out, and now you've got this person personally involved, emotions are involved. You may have met families, or kids,
Mm-hmm.
um and that can get messy. So it's kind of like, before you take like that step, like, hey, we're gonna be a thing, I'm serious about you, we're exclusive, like all those things, I think it's safest to get a divorce. But I mean, going on dates, seeing people, smashing, whatever you doing. I mean, if y'all both doing it, y'all are separated, whatever. What do you think?
And there was an even mix in our group about that. Those of you who are part of the Crossroads group on Facebook, Half of the responses were kind of like, yeah, separation is good enough for me, and the other half was like, I'm gonna need you to have those papers signed.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm a part of you're gonna have to have your papers signed. But I'm also me and Jeff K. I'm gonna put his comment back up. We are the same here, okay? If my marriage ever ends, that's it. That's it. That's all. So I don't even know if this is a thing for me because I can't even see going through any of this all over again.
Well,
But
yours can't
there's
end because
so
where the hell we gonna get another executive producer? So
I was gonna say where
that's
I
gonna
thought you were gonna say
be.
where you gonna get another me because something happened to me, but you worried about your EP.
Okay, look, it's
Exactly.
hold up because your divorce would directly affect the brand.
It sure would. It sure that we would have to work that out for the good of the brand. Like now, can we
Like,
be adults about this?
we
Shout out
can't.
to hashtag boo who
Right, we
does.
can't talk about your new
Yeah,
man on the show because executive producer
no,
gonna be back there
you can't.
changing the notes and cue card.
A mess.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. Dating and having fun and doing all that. And I think someone was talking about, if the two parties have an understanding, then do what works for you. You're talking
Mhm.
about Dre Renee. That does not work for me, but I do understand it. I've seen it. I know, at least from what I've heard, there are some times that an actual divorce takes more time than you would like. Like even if both parties are completely done, there are things that they may have to go through and time that is taken for that to become finalized. And so that could suck, I guess, if you meet somebody that you like and so on and so forth. So um, we know where it happens. We're just asking your opinion out there.
Mhm.
What would work for you in the case of this situation here? Just like even if they weren't married, like dating somebody that you work with is just
But I mean, okay. So,
that's just a
but
lot.
I'm
It's
not
not
complete.
wrong. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
but
it's
I'm
just
not
it could be a
completely
lot.
mad at that though, because when you consider in that industry, right, there's a whole lot of time that's spent. Like you in pre-production meetings, you're shooting all morning. Like you spend a lot of time. You know, and so
I
sometimes
understand.
proximity. Now, as I understand it, like it wasn't. I think they got caught somewhere together, like out in public
Mm.
or whatever. I don't know, so don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it was. So they may have been trying to keep it on the low, and these things just they come out. So you gotta tread lightly. And I think it sucks where it's like you could be doing things the right way. So it's like if they're both separated, they're not doing anything wrong. But in the court of public opinion, it's just not a good look. You got to have this wholesome life. Like I think as far as I know, wasn't Kennedy the only single president?
When was he singing?
Wasn't he single at some point, or he was just cheating?
I think he was just cheating.
I thought
I
he was
don't know.
single at
I'm
one
like,
point. I don't
he
know.
got
Anyway,
married in office. I don't think he got married in
I don't
office.
think so. But
I
I don't
think
study
Jackie
Kennedy.
O was single.
Always
I mean, she
there.
wasn't Jackie O at the point at that time, but
Right. So I don't know, but I think I don't know where I got that from. Somebody said something. Anyway,
yeah, I don't know about that. If you those of you who have boned up on your history, your personal lives,
your white history.
personal lives of the U.S. presidents, let us know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so continue to comment in the chat. Let us know what you think about dating while separated, or
Mhm.
also dating a coworker. I mean, it's a thing. I'm
Right.
not again. I'm telling you, as for
Mhm.
me, because Big Capricorn doesn't play with money. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation where my loot
Uh
can
huh.
be in jeopardy.
Give me the loot.
Um,
Give me the loot.
and
But
speaking of loot being in jeopardy, oh, did you have another thought?
no, I was about to segue. I think we're both segueing to the same thing in different ways.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this person was dating a coworker, and
And their loot
what's and their loot, yeah,
can be in jeopardy.
and their
Well, at
loot
least their
can be.
job. I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
he's done.
Oh, well, the loot was definitely in
Yeah,
jeopardy.
no, he's let go. So y'all, Ime Udoka,
Mm.
And Nia Long have officially split. And I think she recently broke her silence. Yes, I didn't
Yeah, but
read the
I
statement.
didn't read anything about their relationship. So,
Hmm.
from what I read, she was upset about how the story came out. What her children have had to go through, or at least the youngest child that she shares with him.
Hmm.
Of course, it was in the news that she had just recently relocated. So now she's like relocating back. And she actually walked off of a project. So she was, filming something, and it was too much for her. And she talked about the fact that in all of her years, that was not something that she had ever done. But she just found herself in a position where she could not, take it. And understandably so, because
Hmm.
like devastation. But she didn't say,
Yeah.
oh, him and I are together, him and I are not, I forgave him, I didn't. It was
Hmm.
mostly about, yeah.
And that's crazy. Like when you're, in the entertainment industry and you got to put on a face. Like, we had a conversation before the show. Like, hey, I'm gonna have to, just historically, sometimes when they're doing our show, on the level that it's on, it's hard to do the
Mhm.
show when in our personal lives this may not be the mood that we're in. We have things going on, but when we
Yeah.
turn these cameras on to do the show, we got to do the show. And so to be on that level of Nia Long, where
Yeah.
you got this $1 million production, multi-million-dollar productions that they do, and cast and crew and all this other stuff, and you're at the focal point of it. It's not like you showing up to a call center job and where you just, thank you for calling AT&T. How can I help you? Like, um, it's not like that. You have to be in character and embrace the emotions of the person. And like, unless you're playing a character that's getting cheated on, uh,
Ugh, right. Right. Sometimes you have to go into an opposite mode of what you are actually feeling
yeah.
at
So
that time.
I can't imagine dealing with
Mm.
something so painful and public. Like the world is watching you get cheated on, basically.
And the part about the kid, right? Because we already, I mean, kids already are cruel, right? Like,
Hmm.
just kick them in the neck sometimes. Like, they are
Hmm.
just so mean. But yeah, to have your dad be, you know, on the Google front page, and
Hmm.
now all the kids have phones. I don't know how old the kid is, but now young kids have phones. So
Right.
you go to school and, yeah, people are talking about your family business
Yeah.
because it's
And
everywhere.
right.
And
Yeah.
then what does she say, right? Like,
Mhm.
so I don't know how much you know about their relationship. I didn't know. I don't even think I knew they were a thing until I guess Boston was playing in the finals. I don't try to make it my business to remember anything about Boston,
Thank
but
you. I was going to say we don't talk about Bruno.
yeah, I was like, I don't know, whatever. But they're talking about this, and black coach. I mean, shout out to that. But other than that, I'm like, who is this guy? I don't know
Hmm.
nothing about him. But him, they have been together for a little minute, like 13
13
years
years.
or something
Hmm.
like that. Yeah. But it has not always been roses, right? And so
Hmm.
there has been, some up and down. I think even to the point of just more recently getting engaged, but it had kind of been uh, rocky throughout. A lot of long distance, of course, because his career has him in certain places that she is not,
Hmm.
not necessarily just for a movie, but like,
Yeah.
I
I
live
mean,
in LA,
right.
and you're in San Antonio, or you're overseas. I think he did a stint overseas at some point. So
Hmm.
they've been together for a long time through a lot of that type of stuff. Um, and I was listening to some of our earlier episodes this week and last week. And we're talking, and as we do, talk a lot about cheating and why this and why that. And, um, I was just wondering, like, I wonder, what the circumstances were. I mean, outside of being long distance, if you know that going in and you say, okay, I'm okay with that, like, what else, kind of was going on that would lead to that? And then on the flip side, like, if you see this is a pattern, what made you then go, yeah, let's continue this, or let's get married, unless you're thinking, that's
I
going to
mean,
change something.
because we only know about the one that gets caught.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? And also, and I've been having this conversation a lot lately, right? When it comes up, and I think we've probably talked about it on the show. But when we talk about cheating, we only talk about the cheating, right? So once someone gets caught cheating, that's all we talk about. The conversation never
Right.
happens about what led up to it. And we don't talk about that because people automatically assume that you're justifying someone cheating. You know, no, because two people can be wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not, that's not to say Nia Long was cheating. I don't think so. I don't want to make that assumption, but a lot of different things can happen in a relationship that cause certain actions. And it could very well be just complete selfishness. Like I, I saw some ass and I wanted it.
Yeah.
Um, but there
Okay,
is
I
a
win the bet. He cuts first.
damn.
Pew, pew, pew.
So yeah, so we never talk about, like, so we don't know the inner workings of the relationship. We don't know, like, hey, I'm tired of her, I'm unhappy, I'm unfulfilled, whatever, right? We don't know
Mhm.
his reasons, and we'll likely never know. We just know he cheated. And the bigger thing, it was, he cheated on Nia Long. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, have you seen Nia Long? Like, how can you cheat on Nia Long? And the thing, you don't know these people behind closed doors. We know how she looks. We know the characters that she plays, and we fantasize over that. And so, um, I think we also connect to people that we admire, right? And then we place ourselves in those shoes, right?
Mm.
So a lot of the women were like putting themselves in the place of Nia, and then men were putting themselves in a place of somebody that wanted to be with Nia. Like, how could you do that? As if he was,
Mhm.
as if he's messing it up with, like, you didn't kept her off. You know what I'm saying? You done had her cuffed up for 13 years, and we couldn't have
Like
our
you
shot.
had a chance. I love that. I love that.
But that's the
Okay.
attitude. Because so, like, for men, so for many women, she represents, beauty and sophistication and something that they want to be, or be perceived as, right? Like this symbol of beauty, right? And somebody that men want, right? I don't want to say sex symbol, but sex symbol.
I mean, I
um
think that's
yeah, and for
that's what she
men,
is.
she's what men want, right? So I think that's where everybody was like on Nia's side. And before he got the coaching job, no, like, he was an average player, at best. He wasn't a superstar, so nobody really knew him from his playing days. A lot of people didn't know he played until he started coaching. you know. And so now, yeah, he coaching, doing well, went to the finals, all that other stuff. And then the need for black coaches, and then a black coach that's successful. Now that's where he's getting his notoriety,
Mhm.
and everything else. And he squandered that. So, if anything, and again, I'm not justifying cheating, but why the women that you work with, bro? Like, I mean,
That's
but that's a contradiction to the TJ thing. I get it, you're around them, blah, 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 blah. But there's way more at stake in this situation, I think. Like,
really. I'm like, Good Morning America
I
is
mean,
is the is
like,
the top of a newscaster
all
or
right,
a communications
I'm
person's
thinking
day.
about black people, really, like sports black people.
Oh,
Okay, I guess
yeah.
I'm
I'm
thinking
like,
about.
that's the top of the game there. Boston Celtics, even though we're not fans, they're at
At
the top
all.
of the food chain
No,
there.
they're
Well,
second.
you when I mean top,
I know. Just
not the top, not
I don't
number
like how
one.
that. I don't like how that
Okay,
sounds.
they are at a high level, okay, of the NBA
Historically.
historically, and GMA is at a high level on an entertainment platform, and
Right. So
so
we have
both.
middle America versus Black America. Really, two different situations. That's what we
Bottom
say.
line is, yeah, these folks allowed their lack of good judgment, sound judgment, to get them in a pickle.
So here's a question, though. Here's a question. if the what's the lady's name on Good Morning America, the host,
Amy.
right? If she were black, you think this would be as big a deal?
Probably not. It's always about the white woman. So
Because
I'm
notice
gonna
we're not notice we're not talking about her. Like he's the one like
yeah,
on the headlines and stuff like that.
yeah,
You know, oh, this
but
married man, and they're like she was married too. And which is
yeah,
interesting because in the email, we still don't know who the woman is.
because she's probably
Well, I think
they
one of them
trying
is
to
right. Well, I
yeah, they're
think it
trying
was
to
the
protect
yeah.
the trying to protect or they're trying to protect a white man. Like somebody
Yeah. Well, I
is
think it was he was
getting
smashing
protected.
as I understand it, it was two women and one of them was white. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But then you had what's her name, Malika Andrews, because everyone kept saying like, how come she's not her name's not in the headlines and da 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 da, and she was like, we're not gonna blame women. I was like, for what? It was a consensual relationship. Blame her for like this what we doing? Really? Really?
Oh
So
Lord.
yeah, Stephen A kind of went back
Well,
at her though. He's like, you
my
on my
thing
show.
is this. Nia Long's been cheated on. Beyonce's been cheated on.
Anybody
Halle
can get it.
Berry's been cheated. Anybody like we cannot still be living in the day of because she's so and so she can't be like
Or we can't be living in
cheatation
a
does
day.
not have anybody's name on it or face on it. It's
Or don't think just because you pretty that
that yeah, that is
you can't
not gonna fly.
just come in here
Clearly.
being pretty. Like it's more to it. And there's a lot of
Mm-mm.
women that try to get over on their looks, and then after all of a sudden, when the allure of how you look wear off, it's like,
Well, and that brings up a topic that has come up with this that it women sometimes think it's about a look, right? Like, does she look better than me? Is she and get offended when she doesn't, because generally that's not the case,
oh no,
right?
but even before that, I don't want somebody to want me just for my looks. And then when you get cheated on, oh, he cheated. Damn, she not
Yeah.
even cute. That's the first thing.
Hey, we're not saying that it makes sense. It is what it is. Okay. It doesn't have
Oh.
to make logical sense. But I'm just saying. The
I'm
the
glad you
pretty
can't even.
ones get cheated on,
Uh-huh.
the average ones get cheated on, rich ones get cheated on. It's just
And to be fair, they also cheat.
and to be fair,
They just don't make
equity.
headlines. Yeah, you know I'm all
Equity.
about that equity,
Yeah,
that the E
well,
word.
yeah, we'll throw that in there.
So
Well, speaking of
y'all,
coaches,
yeah, speaking of coaches.
this was some good tie-ins. This some good tie-ins.
Y'all, this so we saved this one for this segment of the show because it's been dominating uh the headlines all over the Twitter sphere and the metaverse. And
Uh-oh. We're gonna pause because I just saw this comment pop up. Um, I don't know that I agree.
yeah, no, that's not all the way true.
I will say for being friends with men, I don't know. I think
Well,
that's
no.
us.
I will say something.
That's us. We
There,
have to be attracted. It doesn't have to be physical attraction, but we gotta have an attraction. But men, I feel like you guys just close your eyes and go for it
nah,
sometimes.
not always.
Not, not
No,
always.
no. Wait, yeah, no. I guess it's not always necessary. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
sometimes you're just like,
I would
hey,
say that statement's not absolutely true, but it's not absolutely false.
okay, we right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
But
Okay, go ahead.
usually we have to be. There's, I think every dude's got some butter faces on his record. Um, and yeah, I actually know a couple of women that got some. What would the male equivalent? A but his face,
But his
but
face.
everything is but his
That's
face.
fair.
Yeah,
Everything but
so
his yeah, butter face and but his face.
I guess so.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
I have a friend right now that we had that conversation. I was like,
Mm,
dude is, he yoked up, he's swole and everything else.
but that's it.
Yeah.
Well, he's
And I
okay.
think Let me
What were
stop.
you
Let me
thinking?
stop. But yeah, I mean, to each their own. You know, um, because I
We're going to
mean,
go to the.
yeah, the next one. I was thinking about like because I know I've done it. I'm just not used to women doing it. I think that's what it is because women
Oh,
usually have to be like attracted. I don't really. They usually don't do that.
that's what I said.
Um,
I think for us, but I don't think that's the
no,
same for
I've
you.
seen it done. It's just not. It's not common, which is why I struggle. Like really
You seen people, you seen women be with men that they are, well, okay, let me not say that.
attracted to
Because
something. I won't say not
gold
attracted
diggers
to.
happen every day. But I mean, like,
Or sugar
just because
daddies.
you see just because you see a woman with somebody that you don't find attractive doesn't mean that she's not attracted to you for whatever reason. But there are absolutely some people that, yeah.
Okay.
What are your resources? What do you have? What do you
Yeah.
have that I need
Well,
such
she ain't.
situation?
She's not dealing with him for his resources. That's for certain. So,
All right. Okay.
yeah. So back to coaches.
Back to
The
coaches.
biggest coaching story in the world right now. Coach
World.
Prime Deion Sanders has left Jackson State University for Colorado, and people are
I can't.
incensed. People are losing
I didn't see that
their
happening.
yeah. I
I
mean,
didn't have that
y'all,
on my 2022 bingo card, as they say.
y'all, look, people are mad, mad. I'm talking about
Oh,
so
they
much
are
so.
mad. They are mad.
At the game, they playing One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. I yeah, at the game, it's a clip. They's like, yeah,
Wow. And so
mhm. If you want to
this is
leave,
what I've said when people have asked me, or this has come up over the past few days. I'm like, I understand disappointment, right? Because I feel like Jackson State, HBCU community, supporters, Black people, whatever, really bought in. And, A was um, happy to see him in this position, happy for the team to have him in this position, of course, because they were successful in their records. Like everything was kind of churning along. He used his platform to bring some wonderful things to the campus. This is not to say like, oh, without Prime, JSU is nothing. I think people are taking that stance like, we were JSU before he got there. Yes. And also, he did elevate, that program in a few ways that will outlast his tenure. Like once he's gone, you will still have the resources that he brought there.
like they
And
didn't even
it
have
is
a decent practice field.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, we can't argue facts, but also people have feelings. And it's
Mhm,
okay to say, dang, we were on the up and I thought it was going to last a little while longer. I'm disappointed that it didn't
mhm,
go this way. I think that's fair. But, all the rest of it is just, it's a lot. And that's also because I'm an outsider. Like, this doesn't really impact me one way or the other. So maybe somebody else would say, you just don't understand. I
yeah, an
don't.
outsider, as in not Jackson State or
Not
outside.
Jackson State, not HBCU, because let's just gonna put it out
Well,
there.
damn it, I went to HBCU, so
Okay, well, you do
everybody was
that.
like, "You
I'm in
don't
PWI business.
understand."
I'm in
Yeah,
Power Five business
right.
because
If you
that's
didn't go to
that's
a
who I represent.
HBCU, well, I went to HBCU, and I think y'all are being ridiculous. Damn it!
Okay.
Like that man got a better opportunity and he took it. But so I get people are saying why
But
he
is
was
it
saying
better? Let's talk about that. Why do we feel it's? Are you talking about better because it's a Power Five school? Better because
it's
people are
not.
going to be like,
I don't think
he chose the white school over the black school.
it's not even about better because I think it's better. He chose what he felt was better, right?
Okay, I like it.
So okay, so this is what we have to consider. His coaches weren't really getting paid, and as I understand it, they weren't getting paid on time, right? The
Mm,
school don't have resources, so
let's talk
not
about it.
only
Yeah.
so he was getting paid what 300,000 for a college for one a coach of his stature, a person of his stature to be paid under $1 million, let alone under $500,000. And not
Mm,
only that, he took half of that and donated it. You know what I'm saying? Like he was paying, like contributing to the facilities and stuff like that, and paying for hotel rooms when they didn't have the water and food, like their boys was barely eating. He was paying for that out of his own pocket for his players.
mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's like, oh, well, he talking about God sent him. He's talking about all the stuff he wanted to do. He came and he left the place better than he found it.
Agreed.
For years to come, Jackson State University, that program is going to be better than it was before he came. And that's all you can really ask for, right? And so
Yeah.
here's the hypocrisy of that, because people were talking about his statements and, oh, well, he talked about God sent him, blah blah. Okay, cool, right? Whatever. Here's where you only care about that and what he was saying because he was being successful.
Mm.
That's the only reason why we care. Why? Because every time coaches come and they don't win, first thing we screaming, fire them. We need to get rid of this. We do
That's
that with
true.
players and coaches and everything else. No matter what he said, he could have said all these things, but if he wasn't winning, oh, he gotta go, right?
That's
So
true. And I
at
think
some
he alluded to or he said it flat out to his players, well, the players that he was leaving behind. Like either you're elevated or you're terminated,
or
and
you're talking,
everybody knows the game. You know the game,
yeah, but
right?
he also said, like, he was it 60 minutes or 21 of these news shows.
I think I did see him on 60 Minutes, so it
Right, it
could
was
have been
60
that.
minutes then.
Hmm.
Asked flat out, like, if a Power Five school approaches you, he
Oh
was
yeah, he said I'm gonna have
he
to.
said
I'm gonna have to.
flat out, I'ma entertain it. I
Yeah,
have
I'm gonna have to
to.
entertain that.
He
He
was like,
did say that.
I'll be a fool. So this is not a surprise. He did exactly what he said would do if they approached him.
Hmm.
Period. Now,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, why do we have to rely on one person? And this is with our community, this is what annoys me so much, is that we're always counting celebrities' money, right? We're always putting the burden of change on high high profile people, right? And it's typically athletes and entertainers,
Hmm.
right? And it's always, oh, because you have so much money, then you should be contributing this or you should be doing this, all the while sitting back and not doing any of that work themselves. Like, how much have you
Right.
donated? If as a community we're talking about tradition and the culture of HBCUs, okay, how much have you donated? How much of
Hmm.
your money have you put? And it don't have to be 150,000, it don't have to be this, but when's the last time you sent 10, $15, right? If all the alumni from these schools sent $20, you know,
Yeah.
what would that look like? You see what I'm saying? So these are the things. Now, homecoming, we'll foot the bill and go to homecoming, and and the bands and the dancing girls and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what departments? What did you get a degree in? Do you contribute to that department? Do you contribute to the sports programs? Like, you
Get
can't
these
really
dorms together.
dorms.
Howard
Like,
University. Did they
listen,
get that together?
I just went to my homecoming.
Uh-oh.
My dorm, I took a picture in front of my dorm, and my dorm looks the same as it did in 98.
Yikes.
As a matter of fact, like, the attendance is so low because there's no resources at the school. I don't even want to tell you how many students go there right now. It's like, one, it was a very small school as is, but I think the current enrollment is 309 students.
Wow. That's like
Right. And they're
people's
all
high
in,
school graduating class.
right. And I mean, honestly, I'm not it was an old school campus. Like, there was no co-ed dorms and none of that. Like, it's Daniel Hall and Fair Hall. And you bet not get
Mm,
caught in either one of them. You know what I'm saying? So
wow.
they had a co-ed dorm built, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, if that long. Um,
Hmm.
it's a, but I love my TC though, right? So the thing is, I understand, like, the traditions and everything else, and have lived that culture. But why is it that we only love people when what they do is of a benefit to us, or to our narrative, right? um because how many of us get a better opportunity or a higher paying job or a more high profile job, and we take it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We love the people and stuff where we are, but it's like, if God opens a door, right, why not walk through it? And so when people are saying that, oh, well, God told him to go there, so how do you know God isn't telling him to take this opportunity,
Right. Right.
right?
And I think he spoke to that too. He was like, if you trusted me on hearing God's voice coming in, trust is the same voice that's leading me into, my
Right.
next
And
situation.
more than that, look at what the opportunities that he's created. So not he didn't just leave Jackson State. So the coaches that worked for him at Jackson State, he took with him,
That's
right?
dope.
He took him with, so because I don't know if you've seen, I watched his first speech to the new team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so after he made his spiel about himself, he was like, "Are there any questions?" And one was like, "How many of the coaches are staying?" He said, "Probably none." He's
And did you see their record? They don't need to stay.
one
Sheesh.
1-11, right? So he
I
was
was
like,
like,
probably
did they
none.
play this
Right. So
year?
he
Sheesh.
had Cats has been with him 16 years. So now that he's got this multi-million-dollar contract, he brought the guys that roll with him. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking care of the people that were with me. Not only that, he provided an opportunity for his son.
Little Shador.
You know
Well,
what
he
I'm
ain't
saying?
little, but yes,
Right. He was like,
it's
"Yeah, where's Shador
wonderful.
at?" Yeah, he's like, this y'all quarterback, and unapologetically so, this y'all quarterback. Because matter of fact, before he announced that he was going, he the quarterback that was there entered the transfer portal before he even got there.
Mm.
He saw the writing on the wall. He's like,
He was
"Nah,
like,
let me,
I'm
yeah,
cool.
yeah, let
Yeah,
me be out." So no, I saw the comment like some, not all. Yeah, I mean the ones that deserve to go, like, you know, or whatever,
yeah.
whoever he decided to take. Yeah,
But
but
like I said, I think it's okay to feel away, right?
mhm,
Like when your point about like, oh, we only love people when they're doing what we want them to do or something that benefits us. Like that's human nature. And it's understandable, like I said, to feel something like, dang, we're losing. Like I remember when Pete Carroll left USC, I was just
mhm,
like, we're rolling. Now, of course, the issue was about to hit the fan, and now I understand why he left. But at the time, it was just like, why would you leave us?
uh-huh,
But he was going to an NFL job and all of those things. And it's just like, I mean, you're going to feel a way, but you also are rational enough to know, like, oh, nothing is lasting forever. And somebody is always going to be looking out for themselves and their families. Now,
mhm,
I feel like, and I'm not saying that Prime didn't do it right, but there's always a way to do things, right?
mhm,
Like you're going to hurt somebody's feelings, you're going to disappoint them, you're going to do something that doesn't feel warm and fuzzy to people. There's a way to do it. And often people know that they're going to do something that's kind of shady, and then they're shady in their
mhm.
exit versus just being above board. Now, it sounds like that's not the case here. Of course, we don't know all of the inner workings. One thing that stood out to me, and I think we were talking about, is the picture that was painted, I think overall was about HBCUs being viable places for these athletes. Like, hey, give these schools an opportunity. Come here. We can create something great here. I think what people heard or maybe believed was, come here, Jackson State. As in Deion Sanders, like, I'm going to make something great here and I'm going to always be here. And that's not what he said,
Right. And
and so
yes, so people heard what they wanted to hear.
yeah. And so again, it's okay to be upset about that, but I just don't know how anybody could think a man would come somewhere. No, he doesn't need the money. Absolutely not. But also, why would he go anywhere where he's not getting adequately paid and spend, like, these are his retirement years. He's already done all
Like,
of this,
right,
right? So he's
this
deciding
man, yeah, this
he's
man
he's
coached
deciding
from
to
a
do this.
hospital bed.
That's what
They
I'm saying. I was like,
literally,
he amputated his toes. Like he could be doing something else. As far as I know, him and I always want to call her Babyface's wife, and she's not anymore, but that's who she is. Tracy Edmonds, right? Like they've been together for a long time, and I think they're still long distance because he's literally fulfilling whatever ministry he's in right now. It's gone from uh Texas to Mississippi to Colorado, but it has not taken him to California with her, right?
right.
For whatever reason. But he's not doing things to be completely self serving, because if that's the case, he could be at home with his woman. So
Right.
whatever he's doing, you don't have to like it, but I think it's the attack part that
Hmm.
that's hard for me because I'm like, does he deserve that? Disappointing with teachers and I think coaches because they have that connection to kids, students, athletes. That's always hard. But at
Hmm.
the end of the day, teachers and coaches are some of the most underpaid people. And I'm like, if you really want to keep them there, then we have to do better by them. And if not, then they have to do better by themselves. And
Right.
that's
Or
what
the,
he was
the
doing.
yeah, the quality ones. But the thing is, when your quality, listen, overall, if people say teachers don't get paid, I manage teachers, and there are a lot of teachers that make good money for the profession, right?
Oh, so what you
You
saying? They squander and they do? They're
No,
not good stewards?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are teachers that get paid good money.
Okay.
I there's
I'm just like, well,
right.
what?
Don't listen. Don't always believe the hype. But people also don't know how teachers are paid. They think that, oh, pay teachers more, as if there's just money to pay teachers more,
Hmm.
just because, like, that's not how it works, right? But that's a whole nother show. Um, but again, it's like we all need to make a decision. I'll say this. This is what I know about God. God does not always call you to do the popular thing,
Ooh, tell the truth.
right? When God gives you a call for your life or sends you in a direction, he does not send you according to the agreement of those who hear about your decision, right? He
Hmm.
didn't call a meeting or a town hall to inform everyone about the path that he gave you. The call that is on your life is not, was not, and will never be a conference call.
Nope.
It's not a
Agreed.
three-way call, nothing. It does not need to be approved or validated by anyone else. And I'll tell anybody that you are not authorized nor qualified to speak on these parts of my life. So who are we to tell him what God has told him?
Yeah.
Who are we to tell him where he should stay?
Hmm.
Right? Because again, if he weren't winning, we would be telling him where he needs to go.
Right.
Right? Um, Next, we seemingly tend to only do this to people of color, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so we see, and this is what I've learned, like in the organization that I work for right now. This is what I've learned from white people. White people gonna make decisions for them, and they're gonna do what's best for their life. That's not to say that they're, in education. I'm not saying they don't care about kids and blah 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 blah, but they will seize an opportunity when it is
Yeah.
presented to them. And I've not seen one person in my organization, when they are presented with an opportunity, turn it down.
Yeah.
Right? It is people of color, oftentimes, that they rely on having the bleeding heart, and um oh, stay and loyal and all this other stuff, right? While everybody else elevates and migrates and does what's best for them and their family. And we need to be able to do that, because as a community, how are we going to uh narrow the gap if we're always staying in the same place for the sake of loyalty, right? So um yeah, okay, you know,
Yeah.
but
That's almost saying. I was like, during that time, that was,
guess what? He ain't catching hell no more.
no. And Prime won't either. As soon as the season starts and he does what he does, provided that
Nothing,
team
yeah. Nothing shuts
improves,
people
and they
up.
don't have to improve a lot because as
No, they
bad as
gotta
they were,
win.
all they need is a
If they
little.
win, they need to win two games and they're already better.
They are better.
But
So
nothing shuts people up like winning.
yeah, that's what
That's
I said. So
yeah.
this is gonna be in the rear view, but again,
Hmm.
like you said, the bigger conversation really is how we do our
Hmm.
own. And
Hmm.
I understand the historical ramifications of that. There's a lot that we don't have control over that has to do with how we treat one another. Um, but also to your point, as one elevates and able to take others with them and create these opportunities, that's how we start the correction. If we hold everybody down here, then nothing ever changes. But
Mhm.
just really, like I said, if you're ever in the position where this is something that you have to do, you have to make a decision that is not wildly popular, to elevate yourself, your family, to follow a directive, an assignment on your life. There's always a way to do it. And so choose you know, to do it in the best way possible.
Mhm.
It's not, people are not going to clap for you as you leave. I know that.
Right,
But,
but yeah, we can't do things for
there's
the
just a way.
claps. We,
Yeah.
do it for the caller, not the claps.
Yeah.
And it should all work out fine. So, but with that said, y'all, I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's been a long time since we've been on connecting with y'all. We will
Absolutely.
say that in this next season there will be more lives. There'll be our scheduled times, and then there'll be some pop-ups, as topics come up that we want to come on and connect with you. But in the coming weeks, you'll see some announcements when the episodes or new episodes for season 2 will be dropping, the schedule for the lives and everything else. But if you're still on watching us right now, please go down there. You're already on YouTube watching us now. Click the bell, subscribe. That's so important, to subscribe. That really helps us out a lot, and we appreciate y'all. But all good things must come to an end, and this particular
It's Taco
broadcast,
Tuesday.
it is Taco Tuesday, and bedtime. I'm going to sleep. Um,
Okay.
I got to get up
I'm
at,
I'm behind you in time, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 4 o'clock come early, and I got to take. I already have my gym bag packed, so I'm gonna get up and go get my body right so I can get to Zaddy status. So, but y'all, this has been another episode of the Crossroads. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. In parting, as always, remember, be
Be
free
free
to
to
be
be
you.
you.
We'll see y'all
Bye,
soon.
everybody.